Hello and welcome everybody to some more CEA Valorant. Today we're going to be tuning in with Roblox, Bazookas versus AMZN, Alexa, Rush B. Last season I know we did have a little bit of confusion. Always Alexa, Sir Waltham and Moxie back at it again. Either way, Moxie, how are we feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, we already get confirmation of the map that it's going to be, and shocked gasp here, Waltham. It's not bind. It's going to be Scent that we get to head over to. And you know what? Watching teams on the Scent always just makes me the happiest color caster ever, because you know that there is going to come a point in this map where one of those Sovas, and someone will pick Sova, locks on to the Ares or the Odin, sets up an B defense, and absolutely shreds some bodies as they try and come through lobby.
Yeah, certainly shredding somebody, or at least shredding our eardrums with the amount of noise that Odin can just absolutely put out. But either way, we are going to be going into it. Also worth noting, Yoru going to be, I guess, active this week here, as I think you and I are both anticipate, are hopeful we might see it.
I mean, my hopes are just fading ever so slowly as we see all of the agents get locked in, and not a single Yoru in sight right about now. No surprise, there will be Sovas on the board, but it seems like AMZN are actually wanting to come in with the Sage. She can be very good for area denial in the form of the wall and the slow orbs, but Ascent can be one of those ones where you don't specifically have a place where the Sage sticks to, and that unpredictability is definitely going to be something that Roblox have to come to terms with. You know, if it's something like Bind, you know the Sage is more than likely going to be playing a shot. However, on Ascent, it's a little bit more up in the air.
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit more questionable, as we do see here the compositions start to get locked in. Looks like Arena, looks like a couple of other heroes as now. Looks like everybody has locked in, and we are just waiting for the map to load.
Yeah, Reina's coming out for both teams, and this is definitely going to be very interesting, because remember, we have recently just had a patch which some people would say has absolutely crippled the character. Maximum Devour and Dismiss charges have been reduced from the 4 that they were to 2. She's had a little bit of a buff as well, though. So remember, the slain enemies that she's damaged as well as killed will now drop those soul orbs, which can be absolutely huge. You can use those to heal yourself up or to become, well, a little bit of an invisible monster. Whether it's going to even out in terms of the buff cancelling out the nerf, well, we're going to find out in a couple of moments.
Now, the only way to figure out is through a little bit of experience here, as we're going into our pistol rounds coming out here. Also like the Killjoy, just a character I've always grown to appreciate ever since her release.
Yeah. Killjoy is one of those where you do have to pretty much get on top of her as quickly as you possibly can, because those turrets, the nano swarms, they can be absolutely devastating if they're not spotted out when you try and hit that spike.
We'll see exactly how this fight is going to be going here. It's going to be Poison taking an early kill onto Uber. Good opening there, as that Phoenix not having those flashes might make it a little bit more difficult to get some entry.
Yeah, seems like one defense down. Runa gone. However, AMZN have lost a good initiating tool in the form of that Phoenix gone, or the flashes, the blaze wall, the hot hands that you can use to try and bait out a little bit of utility. Not going to be coming in to buy AMZN's safe passage through that mid. They've still got to get through this archway, through the Omen, through the Brimstone on the other side.
Oh, and Porty tries to go for it, but it's going to be Trig who's there to respond, and Z-Dragon going to be quick to clean up as well. Things looking very even for these two teams. Poison hearing the rotations come through, just waiting to get a couple shots in. Does land a few onto the Brimstone, but not enough to take anybody down.
It's just going to be the defense waiting to see where the spike goes. Does look like it's heading towards that A side. You can actually see that the defense is pretty wary to actually pile their forces onto that site. They've still got the Sova keeping an eye onto the B, but now that the motion abilities start to come out from AMZN, they will start to maneuver very quickly onto the high ground. Nanoswarm immediately slowing the push. Dragon falls, and that's all Roblox need. Gain a foothold on this point.
And a little bit better than just slowing the push, getting a kill off the back end of it as well. You're never going to be too upset. I called the Killjoy out. I said I liked it, and I think we're seeing exactly why, Mox.
Like I said, Killjoys, they're just so darn hard to actually manage to brute force your way onto the point unless you find out where every single one of those utilities are. And you can already see Brainless setting up an absolute gauntlet on that B site right now. Nanoswarm, turret, all going to be there for if AMZN try and move through that lobby and onto that side.
Certainly, as we can see now, the buys coming through. A little bit more of a firepower build coming in from AMZN. No surprise there, as that pistol round typically tends to give a second round to the winners as well. You can see Sean now holding on to this B point, just waiting for whoever might start to rear their ugly heads, as Uber going to be looking to take down some of that Killjoy utility, but Brainless capitalizes on the fact that they're too focused.
Yeah, Brainless able to get that first person out of the way, and again, AMZN, the second that they see those Killjoy utilities, they just can't push that position. So much space completely denied for this team, and now they're having to move through mid. They might not know that there is a jet waiting on that right corner. The Brimstone's gonna be moving forward, and oh no, no one sees Poison Monkey!
As the 2 kills coming from Poison Monkey, breaking the back of this team. Spike Carrier goes down. There's only so much Arena can do. They're going to have to try to make contact with that bomb, but already you don't want to be suffering this much loss early on into the set of games.
Low HP as well.
Oof.
You're going to get absolutely hunted down. Roblox making a very quick 2 points on the board, and this is where it's going to start getting dangerous for AMZN, right? They have to start being able to split their forces so that one person is able to bait out that Killjoy utility and the rest of the team just pushes another spot, because that's the second time now we've seen pushes completely spoiled by that one agent.
Have to agree here, as now we see Brainless continuing to set up on that A site. We talked a little bit about how there's that consideration of repetition coming through. Mox, wonder if it's going to happen with the Killjoy.
Yeah, pretty varied. Because last time it was the B push. AMZN might be expecting it to be there, not on the A site. Brainless has already used these areas though on that first round. Something that AMZN are going to have to be able to keep in mind if they want to keep all of their agents alive for when that spike comes down.
Z-Dragon having their position given away for just a moment as they try to go for the ult orb. They do get it, but Revenge in turn gets a little bit of their own, and now that's going to put the attackers at a little bit of a stife in here. Roblox going to be stuttering to find their opening now.
Just waiting to pressure out which of these points you want to push. Drone is going to be giving away the Sofa presence in lobby, and Poison Monkey falling does mean that he is going to be pretty short of hands in a couple of moments. What going to be coming through from Porty Spice, trying to figure out just how many agents they're lacking on that spot, but again, no one checks the corner!
Couldn't quite get the Poison Monkey maneuver there that time around, but close, deals a bit of damage as well. And now it looks like Roblox hurting for manpower. The Phoenix drops before they can get the healing from the Sage, and now that bomb's going to be having eyes on top of it.
Well, there's going to be coming through as well. Yeah, Sage has to shoot the eyeball, can't shoot the Reyna. And AMZN, it's the same thing. They find where the Killjoy is, and either the utility completely snuffs out a push, or they just lose players. They don't check their corners. They go just a little bit too fast when they're trying to be pushed away out of the spot, and they fall back into trying to move around mid without actually dropping utility to try and keep themselves safe, and Roblox have been capitalizing on it every single turn.
Definitely seems to be the case here now as we look towards this round 4. Gates are about to drop, and we're actually seeing some ops come out here. Poison Monkey might be looking to make that happen with the Jet.
Oh man. Those dash is going to be brutal if you're not able to shut down that Jet with the operator. It's going to be a full push coming through from AMZN. Everyone's trying to hit that A site, throw bodies at it, and maybe you'll be able to keep Roblox away. You do have to split their attention right now, but unfortunately the first falls and it's the side of the attackers.
And that Omen as well, going to be looking to get up onto that high ground, waiting for those smokes to clear to have a little bit more of a line of coverage there. And it looks like the defense in a very good spot. Trig going to be taking down one with another quick to follow up from Brainless. It's all going to be about the defuse coming through.
This Killjoy is top of the kills right now. And again, we start to see AMZN got pretty rushed. Everyone tried to commit onto that push at the same time, with not a lot of utility being burned to keep themselves safely in. The second that they knew there was an operator on the board for the defense, they knew they had to move quickly. The longer you wait to push in when you're up against an operator, the more opportunity that Oppa then has to get a kill before the fight starts. But unfortunately, they just lost the numbers.
Definitely have to agree. Looking very strong so far for this defending team. And now we're still seeing Poison opt into the operator. So we're still having those long lines of sight.
Well, the good news is the Jet's not playing mid right now, so it's not going to be seconds into a round that AMZN are at risk of losing a member to that one-shot kill, but Revenge just shooting through the smoke, able to completely wrangle control of mid yet again.
And it is going to be Spike down now for the attackers. They have to try to get somebody in there to recover it, but it's going to be in a little bit more of a controlled or a contested area at least. Lots of members from the defense trying to keep eyes on it. You got that Killjoy, you got the Reyna, Lemonade, trying to consider their options here.
Oh, well, Revenge is going to be trying to eliminate one of those options. Making sure that AMZN can't abandon B entirely and move towards A. I think one thing that we're still waiting to see from AMZN, right, is a clean initiation. Because they dropped the smokes, they obscure the line of sight, they know that there is potential that the operator is going to be trying to hit them from tree into mid. But then nothing really is done. Smoke doesn't stop bullets, you can still blindly spray, and that's exactly how Revenge was able to get that first kill. They drop the smoke and they think that's it, job done, and they continue with their day.
Yeah, certainly looking pretty good for this team so far. Seeing it now as we take a little bit of a look here. It's a little bit of a broken buy coming in here for the attackers. They're struggling to really get that firepower up as we see that Sova just barreling through the walls, trying to get anybody who may be unaware.
Well, unfortunately, no one is going to be caught unaware because all of AMZN are, rather fortunately for their team, going to be pushing onto that A site. However, you have to know that Revenge is going to be coming through from tree. They're able to get the arena in the rotation. This is one of the best spots that this attacking team has been in, as now Roblox are forced to play for the recontest.
Yeah, Spike will be planted, and that's going to be the opportunity here for Roblox to maintain some sort of control as we see the Hunter's Fury coming out as well. Looks like the res might be prepped. John going to be throwing it back up, and with this, now it looks like Roblox are going to be at least equalized here. Sean taking down the Z-Dragon, however, not going to be making things look too good, and AMZN looking to get their 6th point on the board. The Sage is all that remains. Trig takes him down and looking to go for the defuse.
Trig's flank was the thing that absolutely was the final nail in the coffin for AMZN right now. Because the Omen knows that the Hunter's Fury is in play and potentially is going to be used to cut AMZN off from the high ground so they can't recontest the spike that way. So the Omen wraps around and actually catches the Sova in the middle of the ultimate. And if you play Sova and you hit that ultimate and there's someone right beside you at the time, you're dead. You're not going to be able to react fast enough. And the second that you lose control of A main and Wine, you have to then reposition. And unfortunately, AMZN are just being kept busy by the rest of the forces of Roblox who've now arrived on the scene that they can't turn their attention to where the Omen, who was previously their own Sova, is now going to be popping up. This is something that this team has to be able to react to.
Fortunately, now AMZN on this defense going to be looking very strong with the light machine guns, with the operators there, ready to put down a whole lot of damage, even though Revenge does go down early on. Uber trying to flash in towards the doors, takes a shot from with that run it back going to be kept alive. Poison Monkey seeing John managing to get a second kill onto Z-Dragon as well. Can they get the third? They cannot get the Brimstone just yet. So dangerously low for that player.
You've got to be ready for Trig to pop up in your back as well. You don't even need the flank coming out from the Omen, but that's the second time we've seen that play being used. So AMZN have got to start watching their back. They did try to initiate that time. They used the run it back from the Phoenix to get information to get safely through that first A choke, figure out how many of forces Roblox were holding up there. But again, that hesitation after getting the information, they didn't immediately capitalize on it. And that allowed the operator, the Jet, who knew that the team would be barreling into her at any point, to set up and get those 2 kills.
A great opportunity here now as AMZN looking to get their 8th point on the board, and maybe a little bit more equalized in that firepower respect, but a blind coming out from the Phoenix onto their own team might be stifling things for Roblox here, as now they look to try to get 1 kill, and 1 kill is exactly what they get as Trig cleans up 3 of their own poison, taking down the 4th, and it's all but Arena left.
Oh, even though you've lost Brainless, that Nana Swarm was all that Roblox needed to set everything up perfectly. Because here's the worst thing, Brainless is being so random, or seemingly random is more important, with where these are positioned that AMZN can't cleanly shoot the floor in anticipation of where the Nanoswarm is going to be. And you saw what happened, right? The Nanoswarm activates, half of Roblox's team are caught in that ability, and they have to try and shoot it down. But by then, or back out, and by then they've lost all control space, all tempo coming out from choke, and it's the perfect setup that Roblox need.
And now as we look here, it's going to be AMZN going into their defense, looking to get set up. Porty Spice going to be pushing towards that A, and it looks like there's not too much set up except the Killjoy abilities. There's going to be a lot of mid push coming through here from the AMZN team in the nice cool blue, as John looking to peck around in that middle area. Has to be very careful though, getting pressured out in quite a few different angles. Peeks the op, eventually taken down by Poison Monkey, and now things are looking very good for AMZN to continue as they are 1 member up.
Revenge is trying to hold control of mid right now. It is a fight against the Phoenix, who is currently holding the spike. But AMZN are indeed in a pretty good position. They do have Orbital Strike. They will be running in the server with Hunter's Fury. But first, you've got to worry about the Reyna because, oh my goodness, Pub Stomp was the way that Reyna was described in the patch notes, and Pub Stomp is exactly what Revenge did in that fight.
Yeah, pour a nice cool pints for that Pub Stomp, and with that now it's going to be looking very good for the AMZN team, who still have yet to drop around.
This is going to be such a tough challenge to come back from. Because now we're seeing the currency just falling every single time into the favor, right? And Ascent is so punishing. The line of sights, as soon as those gates open, always favor the team who are in charge of the currency. And the second that you're up against an ARP, the second that these rounds start, you have to invest so much utility, burning yourself out of what you need, because the longer the rounds go on, the more important that utility is, especially in terms of the recontest. But you've got to drop so much into stopping the ARP from getting an early kill.
As now we look ahead, it looks like it's going to be an A push coming in from the Roblox team, the Bazookas, as they continue to try to get their way up. We do see Uber on the back end, perhaps trying to prevent any flanks that may come around, but so far very slow from this offensive team. We see Lemonade, they're prepping their abilities. Z-Dragon going to be going in with that Empress.
Revenge is holding that same angle, waiting for the magic to realign itself, and that's exactly what's going to happen if you don't turn to your left.
No.
Who picked up a Revenge?
It's gonna be the Orbital Strike coming down. Trig does get taken, but it's still not close to equalizing just yet. In fact, it's just gonna be the one. Sean getting them with the Hunter's Fury, and with this now 10-0.
This could very well be a very fast match. You've got to start crippling this economy. And the absolute worst thing for the side of Roblox, right? Even if you manage to take the operator away from Poison Monkey in this round, with 9,000 credits to the Jet's name, you're very likely just going to be at the face of another operator in the next.
Certainly no rest for the team that has a lot of money. They just have the ability to keep running it back. And now, speaking of running, it looks like the attacking team Roblox is going to be going towards that B side. Have to be very careful, though, as they will be dealing with that light machine gun just bursting through the walls.
I do like, though, that we get the
Oh,
recon
no.
bolt this time from mid, not the smoke that sometimes does put you into the line of fire to try and set it up. And that means that, yes, they do lose the Phoenix, but they still haven't lost anyone to mid. And now
Oh.
Zeddragon can punish Revenge, who has every single time been using that exact same positioning. This is the pattern that the runner has been falling into, and Roblox have now been able to anticipate and capitalize on it.
Yeah, Revenge going down, a very good opportunity here. However, you're only one member down of a 5-member team, and Brainless looking to make it a little bit more fair towards their team, a little bit more one-sided towards their team. But Porty Spice taking it from the side with the Sheriff, able to land the shot there. Taking it down now, it's a 2-2 fight.
You still gotta worry, though, because there it is, the heavy machine coming out from Sean. So the B defense is the absolute bane of attacking teams' existences, Wolfen, because sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and push A. And unfortunately, Roblox are biting some pretty sour bullets right now.
Yeah, pretty sour, pretty spicy. Definitely coming out. And on the plus side, we are only one round before the swap where things might start to get a little bit more equalized. But at this point for Roblox, you kind of have to start hoping for a miracle and really tightening up your gameplay.
Well, the first thing you have to do is win pistols.
Yeah.
Because AMZN are the favored to win this round with currency. And that means that they'll be at match point if they're able to take this one. So this is going to be where it's really important for this team. Roblox do have ultimates. Hunter's Fury can be absolutely huge if you're able to use information gathered from that Phoenix to run it back. Or better yet, if you're able to get the spike down and bait AMZN into walking into it for a recontest, and with Revenge already going down early, it's looking more promising for Roblox.
Yeah, Revenge not able to get anything with that Empress, using it early on. Now, Phoenix does try to go for the chicken sentry rather, trying to take it down. Does succeed in that, and now Roblox striking back a little bit firmer here. They have possession of A. They are just getting in position to plant Lemonade. Going to be throwing down the spike, and spike location being revealed, John able to get into a safe spot.
Oh no, we've been here before, Wolfen. Triggan's going for that same flank through A main. And Roblox have it out!
Okay, they did get him with Lemonade. Lemonade manages to land that headshot, but Trig claimed 2 kills off the back end of it, and that's still pretty tough. And now the question is, will this Killjoy be able to dissuade the Phoenix enough to allow for the defuse to come through? Seems like it.
Well, Phoenix is just going to have to try and buy time. But unfortunately, the lockdown is in full play, and the defuse will start to come through. Uber's able to pick up the Sova. Does Uber have a flash? Not in the pocket. Brainless is able to get the defuse going. And once again, that flank coming from Trigonometric is just the absolute key to victory coming up from AMZN. They knew the ultimates that were in play. They knew that Roblox wanted to set up a Hunter's Fury and very likely wanted to set it up in the exact same location that the Hunter's Fury had been coming through before. And AMZN were able to prepare for it. Now, Roblox have to prepare to not drop a singular point as the sides will switch.
A lofty goal there, Mox, but certainly possible if the last round for their opponents are anything to go off of. AMZN in a pretty decent spot, though, if you're a betting person.
Yeah. Roblox looked pretty promising, though, in that last round. However, they've got to turn that promise into absolute perfection, as we are going to be seeing. It's harder for attacking Killjoys to be able to drop those utilities as cleanly. Brainless won't have the ability to easily and prematurely set up her utility. So, if they're able to cut the Killjoy off before she hits that spike, Roblox can win. Not if it's going to start like that.
Yeah, 3 down. They do manage to trade for Sean, but there's only so much you can do with one member remaining. It doesn't even matter if it's Arena. This team seems to be operating as a little bit of a squad right now. AMZN continuing to rotate around, searching out for that Arena. They're so close. Will take the kill. Poison Monkey ensuring that final bullet for the 13-0.
Clean is the easiest way. And I think the only way that we can describe that round coming out from AMZN, they were able to set up cleanly. Their defensive positioning was perfect. The fact that they didn't fall into repetitive patterns outside of Revenge, always trying to hold down mid in that same place. And we saw what happens, right? When you go and fall into those patterns, you will get punished. Things like Trigonometric going on those flanks, you waited just enough rounds for Roblox to not really be thinking about it in the forefront of their minds, and Brainless just constantly randomizing, peppering all of these Killjoy utilities into different positions so that Roblox had no idea. You can't just shoot your bullets at the floor for every single step you take because you're going to be giving away so much more information. The other team might as well be having 6 ciphers.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough spot to be in. But I mean, Roblox, they definitely did have a few moments where they looked a little bit stronger than we had seen them in the front half. I'm specifically talking about, those last couple of rounds, that last round on the first half where it looked like it was definitely going to go their way. It's just Trig was there to foil their plans at the very last moment, and that's a real backbreaker, Mox.
I think this match in particular, sometimes we see teams that really benefit from the best of threes, right? Where
Mhm.
sometimes it takes just a little bit longer for them to grasp the way that their opponents are fighting. And I feel like Roblox would definitely have benefited in this position because we did. We saw them start to come to terms a little bit late, but we did see them start to grasp where AMZN would be positioning themselves, like how we saw that punish coming out from Revenge. However, it was just a little bit too late for the Riots to be turned around. So I think moving on in this tournament, Roblox can get a lot stronger, and we will see them become a lot stronger. But they really do have to get that adaptability coming in just a little bit cleaner, a little bit faster.
Definitely one of those teams to keep your eyes out for. See how they develop. However, folks, before we proceed, we are going to be taking a brief little break. Then we will be back. A little bit of a Q&A coming in here. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. And just like I promised, folks, we are back and better than ever because now we're here with an interview. We, of course, pulled in Sean from Amazon's team to come in here, have a few words with us. So, Sean, hello, welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you. It's a fun game.
That certainly seemed a little bit more enjoyable from your side than the other side of the table. But I want to ask you here. Me and Mox had this discussion that as we were getting ready to have this interview, that the new hero Yoru just came out, and a lot of players aren't really experimenting with them as much in CEA so far from what we've seen. Has your team kind of gotten a feel for that at all, or are you guys keeping it to what you knew prior?
For the most part, we're keeping it to what we knew prior. I think Revenge, who played Reynas for us, would probably be the one playing Yoru, and I think he pulled it out like once during a scrim. But other than that, I don't think many people on our team have gotten much of a chance to play him, anyways. So.
Once still, it's a little bit of hope on the horizon that we'll get to see him cropping up in the tournament at a later date. I am immediately, because I myself am a Sova main, former Sage main. Is that an agent pick specific for you on Ascent, or do you try and run him everywhere you can?
I run him on Ascent, Bind, and that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, I learned some lineups a while ago and then forgot them over time. And then I tried to pick up some again. I didn't quite get to show off as many that game because we just pretty much played defense. But I hit that B lobby arrow a lot, which was nice.
And I mean, I saw you picking up the heavy machinery quite a fair bit as well. Do you immediately just go into the comms as soon as Ascent defense comes up and say, right guys, B is mine, let's go Ares?
No, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to pick up, especially when you're doing well as a team like that. I feel like it gets into the enemy's heads if they're walking somewhere and all of a sudden a bunch of bullets come through. So I usually like to pick it up, especially if we're rolling like that.
And then speaking of getting into enemies' heads, you guys were able to really quickly respond and adapt to what roadblocks were throwing at you. Is there someone who in the comms immediately tries and grasp the situation and orders everyone around, or is it sort of a team effort?
I think it's a team effort. At this point, we all comm really well. The four of us, everybody except for Trigonometric, played last season, so we have a bit of experience playing together. And then I tried to emphasize for this season just good comms, because I think just communicating with each other and keeping everybody in the loop is a good way to make decisions. We don't really have one person necessarily making all of the decisions all the time. Although, again, Trigonometric has been doing a good job of being really vocal and coming up with plays. So.
Yeah, Trigonometric was definitely one of the standouts, at least for our perspective of the match. But is there anyone on your team that you feel popped off and did amazingly well and carried this game, or did everyone sort of help out?
Honestly, I don't even remember what the scoreboard looked like, so I don't know. Everybody did well. It's fine.
Well, truly a man of the people here, Sean. Thank you for coming in, answering a few questions. And before we let you go, in a similar fashion, I want to ask you if there's any shout outs you want to give, maybe even just outside the team to anybody you feel deserves.
Yeah, actually, we have for Amazon, we have one guy that tries to run all of the CEA organizing, or at least he's at like the top level, and he's done a lot of really awesome work, particularly within our whole gaming group at Amazon, which you can imagine is quite big. There's a lot of demand on him. So Joseph Domick, I think he's Zera on the League of Legends side of things. He's done a lot of work to make sure that I run the organization for the Valorant side, and he's made my job quite easy by doing a lot of good things at the top. So big shout out to him.
Well, if it means we get to have you guys here, I'm appreciative as well. Once again, Sean, thank you for popping in. And in case you haven't heard it enough, congratulations.
Thanks.
And with that, Mox, we are about ready to wrap things up for this presentation, but we will be back in just a little bit, folks. So don't get too sad. It's going to be CEA coming back in just a little bit.